2, test, test, test. Test 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Test, test, test. We good? Give me a thumbs up. I think you should be able to hear me. Test, test. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. All right, 1 second. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Test, test, test. We're going to get it. Trust me. We good? We good? All right. All right, let me check this other setup too. Test 1, 2. We good? Oh, my God. Woo. All right. Woo. Man, let's go. Being able to solve problems like that. See, what I want y'all to remember, all right, is like, this is like kind of like flying a plane. You know what I'm saying? And things happen when you're live, okay? So if I was your pilot, would you trust me? Because I'm telling you, things go wrong in the streaming world, all right? I got a lot of things going on. I'm always trying to like do a better job. Always, like I'm never satisfied. Like my kids walk through and they're like, Dad, your setup's always different. And I'm like, because I'm hungry. I want to be better every single day, all the time. It drives me crazy. And that's what you deserve. So like, if I was flying the plane, you're going to hit chop. You're going to go through different elements, right? Sometimes, the other day I did a show, I swear, I couldn't see myself. It was the craziest thing. I didn't know what was going on. I flew blind. So, we straight. We good, right? You guys good? That was a straight stall. We were crashing hard. Woo! All right. Who's ready? You guys ready? All right, let's do this. All right. Welcome to today's show. I appreciate you guys being here. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. Every single day, 10 a.m. Central Time, or as major news happens. Today is Thursday. Today is October 2nd. Yesterday, we were rolling with some Bone Thugs. Wake up, wake up. And today, we get closer to Alabama versus Vanderbilt this weekend. Yo, you know, and tomorrow I'll take your score prediction, all right? So you guys call in, give me your score prediction. You know, and at the back end of the show, I'm going to have kind of an open mic where you guys post your comments on the screen. I'll answer if you guys have questions, and we'll kick it that way. But I appreciate you guys being here, and for you guys always supporting the channel each and every day right here on Bama Football on YouTube at 10 a.m. Central Time. And look, I'm excited about this game. As I was saying when you guys couldn't hear me, one of the biggest things that I'm excited about is now it's any given Saturday, right? Any given Saturday, because all these teams I feel are like, you know, equalized. And I just posted a graphic, and I'll show you here in a little bit. Vanderbilt, yo, Pro Football Focus, Vanderbilt has them, you know, as a really good team, which I'm not surprised about. Remember last week I showed that graphic and Georgia had all those check marks? Well, Vanderbilt has most of the check marks when you go to Alabama and Vanderbilt. So, you know, Diego Pavia, he's certainly confident in this game. Vanderbilt, all their guys are like graduated, transfers. I can't wait to get to Saturday, and I would love it to see if Alabama can handle and serve a little bit of humble pie. All right, let's do some AM shoutouts. Who was able to survive that storm? Let's see who's inside the comment box. My goodness, we weathered it though, right? We weathered it. It's okay. We're still straight. We got Young C up inside the comment box. Thanks for being here. Anita, where you at? I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Max Tooney, Jay Lee, Young C, Max Tooney. Let's see, Ruben Poole, Eric Bosick. What's up, man? And then we're going to get to the crash out time when you guys couldn't hear me. Let's see. We got Anna. We got Jermaine. We got Ryan Paris. We got Kimmy Kim. Yo, this is a tight name right here. Kimmy Kim. We got Amanda Jane. We got Crimson Angel. Crimson Angel's been calling into the coaches show. We got into Paul Feinbaum. We got Mr. Clark in here, man. What's up? Talking about Kane Womack's defense. We got Nicole Covington. We got Toast with a little bit of jelly. We got my boy Todd Tipton. Todd, what's up, dog? We got Joe Crooms checking in from Phoenix City. We got Tover Street. We got Chris from up in Montclair, New Jersey. We got Patriot Life coming to us from Chattanooga. We got Mindy Miss Careless. We got Crystal Jones. Crystal, what's up? How you doing? We got Miss Kimberly, strong supporter of the program. We got CJ. CJ's up in Weptonka, all right? And this is my and CJ's plan. CJ's going to take me. We're going to go pond fishing for some bass, all right? And this is my boy Byron right here. Let me tell you about Byron. Byron hits me up. He keeps me informed. He sees something out there. He makes sure that I see it. I have a lot of people on the social media feed. They feed me stuff, and I appreciate it. So thank you so much. Sean Willie, what's up, man? I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Abe, what's up, man? Yo, 100%. Abe. 100%. Speaking facts right here. Andrew McConnell, what's up, man? Good morning to you. We got Cook coming to us from Louisiana. I love Louisiana. I'm not going to lie. Show 44, what's up, man? Thank you so much for being here. All right, so all the fam checked in, locked and loaded. I appreciate you guys each and every day at 10 a.m. Central Time or as news happens. All right, right here, we got the forecast coming to us from the North Alabama Storm Chase. He's got a Facebook page as well. Today's date, this is the game's date is October 4th. And the tailgate temperature will be 81 degrees. Man, that's nice for the tailgate, right? And the game time kick will be 85, and the fourth quarter will be 80. Let me ask you a question inside the comment box. Are you more warm weather or are you more cold weather? I'm telling you, I'm a warm weather type dude. So I don't have a problem with it being hot. I like it when it's heated up, right? But I'll tell you the hottest place that I've ever been. Post the hottest place you've ever been inside the comment box in your life. I'll tell you mine. I went to Key West. Yo, this place, you know what? I haven't even gone to the beach all year this year. Not once, which I'm sad about. Yo, I went to Key West. Anybody been to Key West? I went to Key West in the summertime, one of the stupidest things I've ever done. I swear it was 170 degrees. I was dripping wet with sweat. Yo, it was crazy. We got a super chat up in here from Toast. Live in South Georgia. Like with y'all cool, see how quiet these puppies have gotten. He's referring to Georgia. Yeah, you had to tighten up that leash like Alicia said, right? Man. Joe Kroom saying San Antonio, Vegas, Afghanistan. Oh, when we get to the veterans on here or people who are serving, yeah, they got us beat when they go to the Middle East. But I'm telling you, Key West was as the hottest place I've ever been. Damn. All right. It's me. Marvin says Iraq and Afghanistan. Huh. Wow. Yeah, I can't even imagine. Warm, I live in Central Florida. Chris Waldman, Rosemary? Yo, Rosemary's that good life. All right, one of the ways that you can support the program as well, I always talk about this, is you can level up right here on Bama Football on YouTube. If you want to support the program and become a fan funder, pull out your phone, make sure you're subscribed, number one, and then you can hit that join button. There's different levels where you could become a fan funder, different levels. I think the biggest level is a live show sponsor, so if you want to support the program, which I really appreciate, definitely think about hitting that join button right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Patriot Life in with the $10 super chat. Thank you so much. He says, roll tide, everyone, and have a great Thursday. The last day of the work is over, and I'm ready for it. Yeah, 100%, man. Thank you so much, Patriot Life. Dude, Patriot Life, you've been supporting the program for such a long time, man, and I appreciate it, man. I look forward to the next time that we can kick it together. Do you have an update, by the way, on Miss Jenny Cackney? Also, we're doing the raffle is back. Okay, this is how the raffle looks now. So you can enter for $10 up to 3 opportunities. Bama_YouTube Cash App Super Chats get you in as well, and we'll spin the pinwheel tomorrow. And this is for a gift card to Fanatics. All right, so any type of gear that you want, NFL, pro, sport, other pro sports, the college football, whatever it is. So $10 to enter. Cash App, Bama YouTube, Venmo, Bama YouTube. Get in, and good luck to you. We'll spin it tomorrow. It'd be nice to have the pinwheel back. All right, did you see this? Mr. B, man, welcome. I appreciate you becoming a fan funder. Thank you so much. All right, so out, you got Quay, you got Ja, and you got Jeremiah Beeman. All right, so knock on wood, this is kind of where we're at right now from an injury standpoint. So I want you to post inside the comment box right now, which player do you think will be most impactful not having in this game? Is there one player that you see on this board that is going to be impactful? And please notate that out the first half is James Smith. And if you don't know why he was called for a targeting, that targeting call, I'm still thinking about it. I think it was a targeting call for sure. But the problem I have, I guess, there was a couple plays that Georgia had that weren't called for targeting. And I'm still kind of mad about that, low key. Like, Ryan got hit, and I think when that guy sailed in, right, that should have been also a targeting. All right, Joe Crooms also in for the raffle and with the super chat. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, good luck to you tomorrow, Joe. You won some gear before. Good luck to you again. You know, look, I think the easy answer on this board for missing this particular game is Quay. Quay is an athletic freak. Even that was Kane Womack who said that. The guy is a baller. The thing about Alabama at that particular position, as you know, they're down 2 guys. Ja Latham and Quay both play that position, and we still don't know how long Quay is going to be out for. But I tell you what, Yanze Pierre and Justin Hill, very capable to be the guys. And Noah Carter, he's right there too, right? I like Noah Carter. I don't know why he didn't play last game, but he's going to play soon because now you're down to 3 guys at that wolf position. And let me ask you before I leave the screen, is there anyone else that could potentially be slid over to wolf kind of as emergency depth? Anyone from wolf to maybe go over maybe an inside linebacker? I was thinking about it. Who could, or like a bandit? Imagine, you know, it'd be crazy. What if Keon Keeley, he won't because he's too big now, but that would be, you know, theoretically a guy because he came in as a wolf position player initially, right? Taylor, what's up, man? Good to see you inside the comment box. He says that Keon Sabb will be exposed. You know what? I saw the reporters talking about Keon Sabb, you know, being out a couple plays against Georgia. I didn't even realize. He's good to go. I mean, he's not even listed here, but I was like, I didn't notice. He did stop a touchdown, right, on the reverse. So I'm going to say Quay, but I think Yanze Pierre, and as I've showed you, you know, the Pro Football Focus numbers are very similar. Do you see this? Yo, this is the most watched game between Bama and Georgia. And let me tell you my thoughts on this. For all the recruits out there, for everybody, you know, thinking about, you know, where College Game Day should have been and, you know, the Big Ten, and I get it. The Big Ten, they won the last 2 championships. That's fine. But college football lives in the SEC. College football, they live in the Southeast, period. This game, look at it. The College Game Day was at Oregon and Penn State. That game went into overtime. Bama, Georgia is the standard. And I showed this graphic to recruits, and I'm like, look, if you want to be seen, if you want to continue to build your brand, if you want to play in front of the biggest audience in the nation, Bama is the place for that, right? Because Bama has so many fans, right? Globally. Doesn't this graphic trip you out? 10.4. Look, College Game Day, I get it. They had to go to, they could have double dipped. Maybe College Game Day, maybe Saban was like, hey, Bama's going to beat Georgia. So we go up to Happy Valley, take care of them, and then because theoretically they could have been in Tuscaloosa, or they could have been covering 2 SEC games back to back on College Game Day. They couldn't do that. But 10.4 million people. So, I mean, the market for Alabama, people look, yeah, plain and simple, like Jarvis says, Bama moves the needle. And I get it. Johnny Football is saying that people don't, you know, think about Bama in the same light. I think people feel that they can maybe punch with Alabama, and we'll talk about that here in a second, but the brand, look at this. Yes, Alyssa, thank you. Bama is the face of college football. Let me ask you, the national shows you watch, right? Like the biggest shows that are out there, they all focus on Alabama football. The meat is always Alabama football, 100%, all right? So that's wild. Let's see. The Florida State, I watched that. I liked that game on Friday. Only 4.4 million. Ohio State and Washington, I watched that game. 5.2. LSU Ole Miss, I watched that game. You can watch a bunch of games now with YouTube TV, right? In the 4 boxes. I even watched the Ryder Cup. I had it like in another window. To the window. To the wall. All right. Okay. Coach Kalen DeBoer last night on the Hey Coach show. You know how we feel, Coach Kalen DeBoer, like the press conferences are a little bit sleepy, right? They're just not they're just a little sleepy. It is what it is. It's fine. But I'll tell you what, a coach who has a more sleepy press conference than Coach Kalen DeBoer is Vanderbilt's coach. And he's super intelligent. Like he would be great on like a podcast where you're like driving for like 5 hours and you just need some like quality audio. But I'll tell you what, man, you got to really be wanting to hear what he says, because he's kind of has like a slow delivery. I think that Alabama will be a good team, and this is kind of where we are at as a program. And when you pair our quarterback with our weapons, we have done a great job building this program and what it is today. So last night on the Hey Coach show, Coach Kalen DeBoer was talking about the play. And the play is when Ryan Grubb called on a 3rd and 5 for Ty Simpson to dump the ball off to Jam Miller, and says this: there are more of those. Coach Grubb's got a lot more of those in store. 100%. Look, that Grubb is shining through. Let me ask you real quick. What is your assessment of Ryan Grubb right now on a scale of 1 to 10? Like, are you really impressed with his play call? Do you want to see more? Does the run game, which is ranked, I think, 90th, does that scare you a little bit? Have you been happy with what he's done from a creative standpoint? I don't really vote often that high in my own questions, but I probably have to say like a 9. Yeah, I'd be close to a 10. This is the guy, and I'm so glad, because I gassed this guy up more than any gas up in the summertime. I was like, Ryan Grubb, blah, blah, blah. This guy's delivering, right? It wasn't a gas up. It was fact. And I think a lot of people out there were talking about him. A lot of people out there were like, yo, Ryan Grubb is that guy. Ryan Grubb is going to be that guy. You see this right here? Another GOAT, right? But I knew that Ryan Grubb would be here, and I don't think he'll be here for long. We enjoy it while it lasts. Who knows what else he has in store? What he's done through the first 4 games of the season have really stood out to me. And I'll tell you what, one of the things, I was listening to Coach Saban. Where was it? I think it was at the Birmingham Quarterback Club, right? Just recently on Monday. And Coach Saban said this, and I was listening to Coach Saban, and I was like, yes, Coach, preach, preach, preach. He said this. He said that one of the things that Alabama that they've done that allowed them to beat Georgia, and one of the things that they have to continue to do, is have these long sustaining drives, right? Can we all agree? There was a drive against Florida State. There was two, and this, I haven't talked about this even following the Georgia game. There was 2 drives against Georgia that went the length. They were long, sustaining drives, and ended with touchdowns. So that's a testament to, your 3rd down conversion rate, making quality plays, making quality decisions, your players, being in the right spots, schematically calling the right plays. But if you can play time of possession with this type of weapons, man, it's been impressive. So I think that, wasn't a gas up. Ryan Grubb is certainly Alabama's best offensive coordinator that they've had in quite some time, right? 100%. Let's see what Ryan has to say. Ryan says, the Bear and Saban are the Michael Jordans of football. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, just different. I bought this one. There's a flea market. It's like an antique market here in Tuscaloosa, not too far from where I live. I'm gonna redo this whole little area. This is kind of like a work in progress. I literally put this up at 9:59. I was like, oh, I could put this up just for the show, but all this is gonna change. I'm like in the process of doing new stuff. But I got this for $5 at this antique store. And then this right here, this was given to me by Mick Gillespie. So Mick Gillespie used to work for me. All those guys, right? At one point or another, worked for me. And he gave me this. And this is a Daniel Moore painting. So that's pretty cool. This is the YouTube plaque, right, for hitting 100,000. I got this at, like, I don't know, like Hobby Lobby or something like that. So kind of just mixing and matching. I had to do like a whole like reset recently. So I appreciate you guys always kicking it with me. And, you know, I'm still trying to figure out the lighting for the camera and all this sort of stuff. It takes a lot of time. All right, I want to show you this graphic right here. Head to head, right? I put this together this morning. So I just go to Pro Football Focus and I look to the overall grades on all these categories. I was surprised to see that Vanderbilt has, I mean, in this particular graphic, Vanderbilt has the edge. So did Georgia. Georgia, in fact, had every single check mark. Remember I showed you this? This was crazy. So Vanderbilt, in terms of where they have the edge, the overall, just barely. Their offensive grade overall is better. Look at their pass blocking grade. Is this a red flag right here? We send the house? Can we make sure that Coach Womack sees this? Their pass blocking grade, are you kidding me, is a 51? What the hell? What the hell? That's weird. All right, the receiving, they have the edge, 83.1. Junior Cheryl's really good. They have a really good tight end. But again, Georgia's wide receivers were better than Alabama last week, at least in this graphic. And I was like, come on. The run, they have an 87.1. Their run blocking grade is pretty low. So is Alabama's. The defense, they have the edge on Alabama there as well. Alabama's run defense is actually better. Alabama's run defense on Pro Football Focus is 87.7. I don't know. The tackling for each of these two teams is a little bit low. Rush defense, or the pass rush for Bama is 62.2, and then the pass rush, which is notable for Vanderbilt, is 82.1. Numbers are numbers. I mean, I guess you could also show, I mean, special team stands out there at the bottom as well, 90.5 to Alabama's 73.1, or 73.8. I think one of the things that we could probably showcase as well is the quality of competition that the two teams have played, right? So far, Vanderbilt, I guess their best win. Who would you say Vanderbilt's best win is? Let me show you their schedule real quick, because I think it's worth bringing up. They beat South Carolina, but please note that Lenore Sellers was knocked out of that game, and he had a concussion, right? So they still won, but let me show you their schedule real quick. All right, so they beat Charleston Southern 45-3. They went to Virginia Tech and they beat the Hokies 44-20. I think it was after this game or the next game that Virginia Tech fired their coach. At the time, they beat South Carolina when South Carolina was number 11. But correct me if I'm wrong, Lenore Sellers was knocked out of this game, right? So it's 31-7. They beat Georgia State and they beat Utah State. Let me ask you this. You're a casual football fan. If you've never seen their schedule before, who's played a harder schedule? I think clearly Alabama has. Look, I've said, and I continue to say, Florida State is still a good football team. I think Florida State beats Miami. That's probably like that's my crazy call of the week. I don't think it's that crazy. I think Florida State's still dangerous. That quarterback, as long as he is healthy, Tommy Castellanos, that guy is a problem. Dude, this is crazy. Let's see. Look at this. Keller, dude. Keller says this. This is wild. He says, "What's up, bro? Working security for Mickey Mouse." Wow, man. Dude, that's a lot of that's good work for a lot of the young kids. Remember when if you took your kids to Disney World, how excited they were? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so he's protecting Mickey Mouse. That's crazy. This schedule's light, right? And look at this schedule. Florida State on the road. I think what stands out to me is the fact that they've played two quality opponents on the road, right? And like I said, I don't know what the rest of the world is saying regarding Florida State. Let me ask you inside the comment box. Do you guys still think that Florida State is a quality team? And I'm not just saying that because they beat Alabama. I've watched them play 3 times. I watched them play East Texas A&M. I watched them beat Bama, and I watched them lose to Virginia. I'd say that they're a good football team. I think they're dangerous. Deuce Robinson is really talented wide receiver. Tommy Castellanos is a good quarterback. Gus, I think they're a good football team. So I say that Bama, they've played already, 2 challenging opponents, and the rest of their schedule is an absolute gauntlet, right? You guys agree with me? All right, so that's their schedule, and that's head-to-head, and that's something that doesn't show up, but I think we all can agree that Alabama has played a more challenging schedule. Hey, heads up, new offer from Sleeper, all right? So check this out, pretty cool deal. This is brand new, fresh out the kitchen, all right? So you get a free $20 when you just enter, all right? It's free. So download the app if you want to make the more or less picks like we always talk about, like we're going to do coming up next. You get $20 free. So you can, if you've never played Sleeper before, all right, you can download the app, get $20 of credit, and make more or less picks for Alabama Vanderbilt. And I'll show you how next, okay? So download the app, $20 free. All right, this is for people who haven't downloaded the app. And if you haven't downloaded the app, the promo code still exists, which is Tailgate, where you can get a $100 deposit and get matched up to $100. All right, so that's brand new, $20. If you haven't played Sleeper before, check it out. You don't have anything to lose. You have everything to gain, all right? And I'll tell you what, look, I'll show you exactly how to do it. All right, so this is the board right here for Sleeper. So when you download the app, it looks like this. It's going to ask you to just pick more or less picks for these options. So we're going to do it together, right? And the way that I usually do this, I usually stick with 3 picks. I'll pick 3 that I'm the most confident in and ride that out, all right? So when we go full screen, I'll give you 3 options, my best 3 picks right here. Diego Pavia. Do you think that he will throw for more or less than 202 yards? More or less for Diego Pavia with 202 yards. This is an interesting one. Think about it in 2 ways. Number 1, Diego Pavia is one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the country. I just showed you their schedule. But also remember, Alabama is only allowing 113 yards passing this year through 4 games, which puts them 2nd in the country. More or less for Diego Pavia with 202. You know what? I'm going to go. I think I have my next graphic coming up where I show you my actual picks. I'm going to say less on that. And you know what? I don't think there's going to be a shootout. I don't. So I'm going to take less on Diego Pavia. Now, this next one is a little bit more challenging. So let me make it full screen if you can't see it. We got Ty Simpson right here, okay? 298 yards, okay? So you might see that right now. As we all know, Ty Simpson is balling out of control, okay? Hottest quarterback in college football, 100% agree. More or less for Ty Simpson, 298 yards. More or less. I'm actually going to say less on this one. I think that Ty Simpson, and that doesn't mean that Ty Simpson doesn't have a big game again. I think that he'll throw, like I said, I don't think it's going to be a shootout. I don't think it's going to be back and forth. So I'm going to say under for Ty Simpson, and I will say, and I'm going to show you next, I think that Jam Miller has a really big game. Now, we got some people saying more. Larry Large is saying more. Jarvis saying less. I'm saying less. I'm going less. Ryan's saying more. Crimson Dreams is saying slightly less. Roger A, what's up, man? I see you inside the comment box. He's like, Vandy doesn't have any quality wins. Agree, right? No one's talking about that. Okay, so here is my, this is where we're going to clean up right here, okay? I'm going to show you. Jam Miller, 60 yards. This one is interesting to me, okay? Jam Miller had a really big game against Vanderbilt last year. I have a feeling that Jam Miller has a really big game on Saturday. Am I crazy? Look, it would be like if a running back at this point in time runs for like 80 yards, that's going to be like a 200-yard performance for us, right, that follow Alabama football. I'm thinking Jam Miller has more than 60 yards. You guys with me on that? More or less 60 yards for Jam Miller. Go ahead inside the comment box. I'll take more. Yo, and this is the Red Bull that I mess with. Not sponsored. I don't know. I know the orange probably hurts your eyes. This one it's called strawberry and apricot. Man, I haven't had an apricot in years. Is anybody having apricots out there? I would love an apricot. I used to eat apricots when I lived in New Mexico. They seemed more available. Do they have apricots down here? All right, so people saying more for Jam. Yeah, I'm saying more, so we're good on that. All right, so those are our picks. All right, so we'll say, less on Pavia, less on Simpson, at least my picks, and then more on Jam. And then I bring it up full screen, and this is kind of a bigger area. So I got under for Ty Simpson, Journey Bernard. I guess this is one I didn't ask you. More or less for Journey Bernard, 58.5. This one's tough. But I'm going to say over. Last game, he was set at 60, and he caught for 39 yards, right? And then Diego Pavia will take the under on the far right. Yeah, see, Max, you're talking about the apricots being from the Rio Grande Valley. Yeah. All right, let me hit on this one more time. This has been, not gonna lie, this has been great to talk about. Okay, you always want like something kind of added to the fire. Well, let's see what RLS says. Kyle, be careful. Vandy quarterback will throw the ball a lot in the end of the game. He's going to throw to zero a lot. Yeah, I mean, certainly he has wide receivers. He has weapons. Junior Sherrill, Stowers, certainly really good players, 100%. I'm not going to lie. This has been fun to talk about all week. The Johnny Manziel stuff. And Pavia, are you kidding me? Like, this is a content creator's dream, is to get Johnny Manziel and Diego Pavia both talking. So, look. Johnny Manziel on the nightcap said the fear aspect of what Bama is completely gone. And nobody's scared of them boys. Some people inside the comment box were like, well, that's true. I think people are willing to challenge Alabama more now that Coach Saban's gone, for sure. And I think they have more of a puncher's chance against Alabama. But I kind of go back on what happened last Saturday. Like, last Saturday told me a lot about Alabama football. It really did. And I think now hearing the players' mindset and hearing that these guys understand that was one win, got to stay focused, got to stay dialed in, I think they carry that momentum into this game against Vandy. And again, look, if they beat up on Vandy, I think, the nation will be like, okay, it's Vandy, right? But I think that I feel that there's some people that certainly feel like Alabama isn't that same Alabama, which is great. It's reverse rat poison. Ooh, this is a good question. I haven't looked on this on Pro Football Focus, but this is something to look into. Kyle, do you think Vandy will play a lot of Keanu Coat? Remember Keanu, man, some of these transfers, they leave and you never hear about them again. I don't know. I'll look it up. Good question on Keanu Coat. I thought he was going to do well here. I always think some of these guys are going to do well, and then they just get beat out. I would say that there's some truth to what Johnny Manziel is saying. You can change that narrative the more games that you win. It's just something that is going to happen. The more that Alabama wins, the more that narrative will go away. But until Alabama, really sets the tone and wins an SEC championship or a natty, people are going to talk. And that's just how it's going to be. Diego Pavia is saying, look, if we play our game, it won't be close. The guy's talked. He always talks. That's a really bold statement that he told Chris Lowe of On3. He's a confident guy. He believes in his team, and he stood his ground. The other quarterback to do that was Tommy Castellanos. And Tommy Castellanos stood on his business not once but twice. And he came through it, made it happen. So look, can this guy beat Alabama? I think anybody can beat anybody on any given Saturday. But I think it comes down to a couple things, kind of talking keys to the game. I think one is home field advantage. You heard Coach Kalen DeBoer last night on the Hey Coach show talking that he needs a big crowd. And Bryant-Denny, I think it can be a little bit sleepy, but it's not a morgue. Like the place is loud, and I think fans are getting more involved now because they realize that the team needs their help as a 12th man. So I think the home field factor will be huge in this particular game. Do you agree with me? Home field in a game like this? And the thing is, you have Ryan Williams blast off like an 80-yard slant or screen or whatever. That'll set the tone for the entire game. You need a big play early in a game like this, whether it be an interception for a touchdown, a kick return for a touchdown, something like that. That'll set the tone and get Bryant-Denny on fire. Diego Pavia continues. He said, look, Tuscaloosa will be a good, fun time. Maybe, I'm sure there's a lot of people coming into town with that same mindset. But I think Alabama has a revenge factor for this particular quarterback. Alabama on the other side, the chip on our shoulder isn't going anywhere. I love that mindset from the quarterback. Hey, and now that you've had kind of 24 hours to think about it, who saw Ty Simpson talking to his team before the game? Thumbs up if you did. Ty Simpson talking to his team before the game. Yo, he was Saban. If you haven't seen that, there's a couple of social media channels that have posted it. I can't post stuff like that. People watching. It's like, I think you get to this level, the channel, and, I have to always be very careful about different like copyright things and, trademark things that I'm still learning about. I have no training in this. All this stuff that I do, I make up as I go. So the more that you learn, I couldn't like post that type of video over here. But if you saw it out there, man, he looked like Coach Saban. And then somebody got one of Coach Saban's pregame speeches and put it side by side, and it was like Ty Simpson memorized it. Remember Rudy? When Rudy Rudiger stands on the chair and he's all telling the team, it was just like that. Coach Kalen DeBoer says, we got to prepare to do it again. Vanderbilt is an extremely well-coached team, talented, playing at a high level right now. 100%. Avoid the rat poison. That was last week. This is this week, and that's it. Focus in. And don't worry about Missouri. Don't worry about Tennessee. Just worry about Vanderbilt on Saturday. Hey, fam, before I get to the open mic segment, remember, if you want to take it, a step further, if you want to level up your support for Bama football on YouTube more than just a thumbs up inside the comment box, think about hitting that join button. There's different options to support the channel right here on Bama football on YouTube. I understand that I wouldn't be here without you, so thank you for your continued support. Thumbs up goes a long way, but if you want to take it up, hit the join button on your mobile phone, and different options for you to get into the game and for you guys to support the product. Super chats as well go a long way, and if you want to get into the raffle, we will spin the pinwheel tomorrow. Super chats work as well. $10 to enter for a chance to win a $100 gift card to Team Fanatics, where you can get officially licensed everything. All right, so check it out. That's how we're going to do the raffle going forward. All right, I wanted this to be kind of an open mic, so if you have a question for me, if you have a question for the undefeated, if you just have something on your mind, post it inside the comment box. I'll post your comment on the board. We'll discuss it, and we'll kick it, for the next 15 minutes this way. You guys having a good time? I am, man, and thanks for kicking with me, despite the near crash out. That was crazy. In the morning with the when it went mute. All right, so post your questions inside the comment box, or your thoughts about this game, whatever it is. Post it on the board, and we'll discuss it. Let's see. Did you know that Two Dimes Club has Johnny and Diego on VIP guest list after the game? Not surprising. So if you're wondering what Two Dimes is a club that opened up here in Tuscaloosa. And look, it's out of my age range, okay? You're not going to find me at Two Dimes, okay? But, Two Dimes looks crazy. This is a club that, like, because you have Rounders here, you have, like, Rhythm and Brews. Two Dimes took it to like a whole different level, and college kids, clearly it's a college town, love it. So not surprised to see, you know, Johnny and Diego on the VIP guest list after the game. You know, hopefully they have a different tune, and if they do, you know, I'm sure they'll play Dixieland Delight all night long at Two Dimes. Like I said, out of my age range, but it definitely looks really cool. All right, Raphael, what's up, man? Coming to us from Long Island. What's up, man? Ooh, this is good right here. Let's bring this to the board. I like this question. All right, so Jason, let's see if we can make this a little larger. There we go. Ooh, I like that. Okay. Jason says, thoughts on Wilcom Formby? Great question. I think Wilcom Formby for me, and look, I think we've all really been and had a right to be critical of him and watch him and hope for him to do well. Yo, this young man took a step forward. And you know me, I'll call it like I see it. It's my job to tell you the good, the bad. Wilcom Formby took one step forward. Now, we can't take one step back. We have to continue to go forward. The guy played fantastic against Georgia. Now, Ty Simpson got the football out. He did his job. I think Wilcom Formby did really good in pass pro. Now, the challenge for Alabama, if we want to critique them, is the run blocking. Now, I think that's an area that has to improve for everybody. I think right now, Caden Proctor is the highest graded offensive lineman in terms of run blocking, but that's an area that I think all linemen need to, you know, kind of step up. But 100%, I think Wilcom Formby took one step forward. You can't take two steps back, right? All right, King's family with the super chat, man. What's up, man? I appreciate that, Kings. And I always tell the story that I was able to meet Kings before the 8-day practice or whatever, him and his son. You guys went to the Georgia game, right? Kings family? All right, he says, missed calling in the show yesterday, but I think discipline and composure are the keys to winning the game. We can't let their chirping get us emotional. This is such a great point. Let me ask you, who always gets penalized? Is it the first person or the second person? It's always the second person that gets penalized. So, yes, there's going to be chirping. There's going to be talking, right? You got to avoid that. And it's hard because if I'm Vanderbilt, I'm doing just that. I am trying to get them off their game. I'm trying to get them emotional. I'm trying to get them to get personal fouls, right? This is a really great point, Kings family. You got to stay in your game. You got to take the high road, which is so hard to do. Oh, my God. Taking the high road is rough. Crimson Dream says this. Kyle, what do you think about jumping to a 32-team playoff and only playing 10-game regular season? It would end up being about the same amount of games. Oh, my God. Oh, you know, I don't like more teams in the playoffs. I don't like when coaches are saying, hey, you know, let's take 32, then 64, you know, only playing a 10-game season. I don't know. I hadn't thought about it like this, only playing 10 games and then kind of jumping in the playoffs. I think something that Coach Saban's continued to say as well is like the more teams you add to the playoffs, it kind of devalues bowl games. Like bowl games right now are completely meaningless. If they made these games kind of bowl games, I guess that would probably be the direction. I'm going to say I'm against it for now. 12 teams, I'm still warming up to be honest, but I don't want to go 16, then 24, whatever. But it kind of seems like at some point, I would say within the next like 5-7 years, we probably have like 32 teams. J-Rod says this. Kyle, what's your take on Jalen Mbakwe moving to wide receiver? Wonder if he made a mistake. That's a great question. I think that Jalen Mbakwe has to stay patient. You can't, if things don't work out for you right now, that doesn't mean that it's over for you or it was a bad decision, right? I think sometimes in life, and as we all know, like it's just not your time. There's just someone ahead of you. You got to stay patient. We are in a society that is not patient. We want it right now. If we don't get it, things aren't going our way. You play the poor me's. Patience goes a long way. All it takes is one season, and a great example of that is Ty Simpson. Look, that guy could have left. He could have went different places. He could have made a lot more money, blah, blah, blah. He waited. He waited. Patience is certainly a virtue. in terms of him moving from corner to wide receiver, there's a lot of guys, man. That wide receiver room is very, very talented. It's not surprising to me that he's not getting playing time because the other guys are better than him. You have to put the best guys out on the field. But from what I saw, in the one reception that he had, Jalen Mbakwe is an athlete. Like, he's the guy. So where is he going to be in another year? In another year after that, you don't want Jalen Mbakwe going somewhere else because he could probably be a two-way starter at a lot of different places. So I think we just sit, we wait, we let it marinate, and we hope eventually he gets to regulate. Regulators, mount up. All right, Marcus, what's up, dog? He said, Kyle, do you think Formby should be the starter considering his performance against UGA? Well, now I'm saying Formby. Yeah, I mean, I think I was in a crowd before where I was like, maybe we could explore Michael Carroll. Michael Carroll getting more opportunities. And I still think you have to do that in some capacity just because the length of the season, guys are going to go down. There's some guys that might not be able to go 100% for 4 quarters. So, yeah, I think you get Michael Carroll involved, and I think you continue to develop him. But right now, I'm definitely rolling with the starter as Wilkin Formby into this game. Timothy says, Kyle, hey, do you think that bands can enforce turnovers? If so, how many and what kind? You saying Alabama on Saturday? One of the stats that really stands out to me right now is the fact that Alabama is +7 in turnovers, okay? This is a team that's been able to force some turnovers so far, and they haven't given the ball away. That stat is super underrated along with the third down conversions. It's still amazing to me that after 4 games, they're yet to turn the football over. We can talk about it during the week. We don't talk about it during the game. That's credit to Alabama executing at a very high level. I think they do get some turnovers in this game. I could see, I don't know, maybe an interception, maybe hitting Diego and having him fumble. But yeah, I would say a turnover in this game, and a turnover in a game like this will be monumental because turnovers, quarterback sacks in a game of this magnitude will really get the crowd into it. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for the question as well. Miss Kimberly, let's see, need the fridge. What else we got in here? Will says, what's up, Kyle? Roll Tide from Homer. That's Alaska, right? Yeah, that's Alaska. Man, look at that. Let's zoom in. We'll bring up Homer, Alaska on the big board. Wow, look at this. Can we go full screen? Where is this? Homer, Alaska? Man, look at this. Oh my goodness. Man, look at this. How many people live here? Wow, look at this. Man, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Green says this. He says, will Ryan Williams be a factor? Yeah, Ryan Williams will definitely be a factor. And I think he's going to be a factor in every single game. This is a guy that, has been criticized for, a lot of different things. He's highly publicized. He's a gigantic celebrity, probably, one of the biggest celebrities in Alabama right now for the things that he's done on the field last year. Not so much this year, but the reason I don't sell on a player like Ryan Williams is, again and again, the playmaking ability is out of this world. He's one play away from doing something crazy every single game. Keep feeding him. He needs 5 to 7 touches. We'll work through the drops. I think that he'll get through that. It's tough, man. There's sophomore slumps. Sometimes it gets into your head. You get past that. One big play, 2 big plays, it'll all be done. So, no, you got to continue to get him the football, and I think he will be a factor. Jay asked this, can we run the ball this week? I think so. I think you kind of look to last year. Alabama had some success against Vanderbilt. Last year isn't this year's defense, but I think Jam Miller, from what I saw from him last week, was impressive. 16 carries, 41 yards. Thumbs up if you think Alabama looked good with Jam and Kevin Riley as kind of the 1-2 combo. The hard thing is you get Jam back, right? But you win against Georgia's defense. You see what I'm saying? So it's like one of the best defenses, and the hardest to run the ball against. But Coach Kalen DeBoer pointed to the last drive where there was a run, I think, that went for 7 yards. I saw that too. I was like, oh, he looks great. So can you do that again? And I would say yes. I think more Jam, more Kevin Riley. I think that's a great 1-2 combo, 100%. Jarvis points out that Ryan Williams plays better at home. Yeah, I think so. I would agree with that. Sean the Explorer says inside the comment box, Kyle, I know it's early, but how do you feel about Ty and the Heisman talks from Biloxi? I think it's too early, right? That's like rat poison talk. But I love it. I love it. I think it's yummy. I eat it up. I eat the rat poison up because the way that he's playing and the efficiency that he has, who are the quarterbacks? And I see JTL inside the comment box who's an LSU fan. But who were the quarterbacks in the preseason that everybody was talking about? Ty wasn't one of them. What? Like, was he? John Mateer, Garrett Nussmeier. Give me some more quarterbacks. All these quarterbacks are being, Arch Manning. Come on. Arch Manning, bro. What has he done? And look, the times that I've seen him play, I haven't been like, damn, that's the guy. I really haven't. And I think he'll get it together. I still have no idea about Texas. My point is, though, nobody was talking about Ty Simpson. I wish I could have got into him, in some odds and some playoff odds, long ago. Yeah, DJ Lagway, Lenora Sellers. Thank you, Ryan. Nobody was talking about Ty. Dan Caraway bet on him after the Florida State game at plus 3,800. See? That was a smart bet. And I think even before that, he might have been like plus like 15,000 or something crazy. So it's early for that sort of talk. I love it. I'm not mad about it. And he's got to continue to do it. And you know what? Ty Simpson, the best thing about this schedule is he's in so many high-profile games. You just saw 10 million watch Georgia and Bama. So he's going to continue to play in huge audiences, which is going to get other Heisman voters understanding what Alabama has. So, yeah, early for the rat poison, but not going to lie, I absolutely love it. Timothy says, I think Kevin Riley breaks off a 50-yard tutty. I can see that. Kevin Riley's fast, man. He tells you he plays bigger than what he is. Rex Green says, I'm telling you, Pro Football Focus is good for pro football, not so much for college. Yeah, a lot of people have different opinions about Pro Football Focus. I like it because it's analytical, and as you know, I'm a numbers guy. But, numbers are numbers. Last week, Georgia had all of the, check marks, and Alabama, owned them at the end of the game in pretty much every facet of the game. Keller says, do you think Ty has any turnovers with his defensive scheme from Vandy? Look, turnovers, they're going to happen. I don't know if it's the particular scheme, but the thing about Ty Simpson, and even the things that we heard in the preseason, is that, correct me if I'm wrong, but if we went back to Coach Kalen DeBoer's press conferences, he was like, look, Ty doesn't make a lot of bad decisions. I think the only decision that I've seen him so far make that was, he probably want to have back is that kind of rollout pass against Georgia where he should have thrown an interception. Other than that, I'm trying to think, did he do anything against Florida State? The guy was running for his life. It was like Alabama didn't have offensive line back then. But I think he's done a good job, not forcing things. Marcus in St. Pete says, Kyle, with Texas and Indiana ranked so high. Oh yeah. What the hell? Media, they love them. Two reasons why Texas and Indiana rank so high. Number one, Texas. People want Texas to be there, right? Texas is basically its own country. Arch Manning. Do you remember how many people were around for SEC Media Day? Do you remember this? Remember? Everybody, there was like, I'm not kidding you, there's probably 100 reporters around Arch Manning. Ty Simpson didn't even go to SEC Media Day. He was practicing. No, Ty Simpson didn't even go to Media Day. Right? I don't even know if he'd been named the starting quarterback by then. Kind of a nice job by Alabama to kind of low-key press, that they had their quarterback. But I think with Indiana, they want a story. They want another story. This is a team that's here. I like their coach. I like their quarterback. Their quarterback is the second highest, most efficient quarterback in the country, but I'm not buying Indiana. I just watch Indiana play in the SEC, and they'd be lost forever. I think that Mississippi State and Indiana would be a good game. I think that Tennessee would be Indiana. Am I tripping? King's Family says, Kyle, would you dial up pressure on Diego or drop back in the middle and hold into the edges? My thoughts is that would be force Diego to throw and take it away. He's running. I think you have to have a combination of both. But I like sending pressure, and I like, forcing him to make contested throws. If that's going to be against man coverage, well, let's see how they do. I think Damani Jackson has done his thing. And look, ZB, maybe he's given up a touchdown or two, but, he'll come up. He's a good corner, and you got really good safety protection as well. So, but you have to get after the quarterback. I think Diego is efficient enough, and I think he has wide receivers to, if you let him operate, he's going to move the chains, which will be dangerous. Oh, this is Dallin says, I think he did. This was one of my favorite plays. I forgot about this. We've already had two linemen one looked like a receiver and one looked like a running back, right? So Dallin is saying, did Ty fumble against Georgia and Parker picked it up? Was that a running back? Help me out, fam, inside the comment box. I forget. What I remember is Parker Brailsford picking the ball up and looking like the best running back on the team, right? Chad, what's up, dog? Good to see you, man. Chad, were you all hyped on Texas? You were all hyped up in Texas before the season started. Was I? Was I eating the rat poison? I might have. You know what? I think I had Texas and Ohio State as like my top two teams. So yeah, I think if I went back and looked at that, I ate the rat poison too. Yeah, I see rat poison on the table. I'll eat it. I promise you. I was buying into them. And I still kind of wonder how good that Texas team will be, right? I think right now, Texas has kind of been written off, but I don't know. I think they have the second best odds still of winning the SEC behind Alabama. I would love to see Alabama and Texas meet up in the SEC championship. That would be like an epic rating dream matchup for me personally, right? And I think for the rest of the world of college football, seeing Alabama and Texas in the SEC title game and then maybe somewhere in the playoffs would be certainly epic. But Coach Saban said, he wouldn't be surprised if Georgia makes it back to the SEC title game, right? So I went out to Home Depot yesterday here in Tuscaloosa, and game day already has all its semi-trucks in the parking lot outside of Home Depot. Carnival Cruise Guy says this: who do you think is next on the depth chart after Proctor? I think the easy answer there is Michael Carroll or Jackson Lloyd, right? I think they're trying to figure out, different guys in that area. Maybe I think Olas Allen has played a little bit too. It seems like they've been playing. I think they played 9 offensive linemen in this last game. Jarvis chimes in and says Texas ain't making no SEC championship. Jarvis also says it'll probably be Alabama and Ole Miss. I wouldn't be mad at that either. I would, because I love me some Lane Kiffin. Let's see how good that Ole Miss team. I think the jury's still out for me on like teams like Ole Miss, Texas, Texas A&M. There's a lot of teams that I'm still not like, that's the team. You know what I'm saying? Like in your mind, let me ask you inside the comment box, do you think like Ole Miss is better than Georgia? Do you think Texas A&M is better than Georgia? Do you think Texas is better than Georgia? Because, if you would ask me, I would say, just from what I've seen so far, I would say Georgia's better than Ole Miss. We're going to get to see it. I think they play this year at some point in time. Texas and Georgia, I guess I'd say Georgia for the time being, right? Oh, yeah, Oklahoma. Damn, I forgot about them. Is the jury still out on them? What makes it interesting about Oklahoma is now their quarterback's hurt, right? And how good are they without John Mateer? And how good are they with John Mateer? Damn, they sacked Jackson Arnold, 10 times? Hey, Tavis, what's up, dog? Did I get it right, Tavis? Hey, Big Kyle, what's up, man? With a month behind us, what would be your top 3 strengths of the team and top 3 weaknesses? Ooh, I like this. Top 3 strengths, number 1, Ty Simpson. Number 2, Ryan Grubb. And number 3, I mean, I would like to go away from like a particular player, right? I'll come back to number 3 in terms of a strength, but so far I got Ryan Grubb and Ty Simpson. I think the weaknesses clearly are, big chunk yardage. I think running quarterbacks, and I still, think that maybe another weakness is just straight up Kane Womack, right? In the overall scheme. So those are my 3. Kane Womack, going against a running quarterback, right? I think those are the weaknesses. And then the questions that I still have, consistency on the road. I mean, for me, a much more scarier game than Saturday is going to South Carolina, is going to Auburn at the end of the year, right? Like, I think that's a question. Can you show consistency and performance from playing on the road? Because we've been here before. You were here last year, right? We beat Georgia, and then the week after you had a letdown. So consistency. Can this team still have consistency? Another question that I have about this team is, what's going to happen if Kane Womack, can't put it together defensively, right? And I think number 3 is there, kind of what teams in the nation, what teams in the SEC could outshoot Alabama if it gets into like a street fight, right? Like Rocky 5, right? When Tommy and Rocky just kind of went outside, what teams can outshoot Alabama? What teams offensively have I seen out there to where if it really gets into a scrap, which team has a quarterback, which team have weapons that can beat Alabama? And I think, trying to figure that out. I mean, Florida State has weapons. I think they just ate rat poison. Carnival Cruise Guy, great question, though. I appreciate it, man. Carnival Cruise Guy says this. Do you think Grubb has depth chart for another offensive lineman to catch the I don't know. That was crazy. That was cool. I don't know. I would imagine though, maybe we see like Caden Proctor line up for like a tush push or something. Could you imagine? Max Tooney saying that Ole Miss will give us a track meet. Yeah, that quarterback's been slicing people up for sure, right? Hey Jamie, what's up, man? Good to see you. Kane didn't make adjustments when he was the head football coach at South Alabama. Yeah, a lot of people pointed that. And that's kind of a thing I think about, too, is like Ohio State went to the NFL for a defensive coordinator. Alabama went to South Alabama, right? There's a big difference, clearly. That's another team, man. Tennessee. Yeah, Josh Heupel. They played Alabama very close within the last 3 seasons. Great point out for sure. Hybrid, what's up, man? Says Alabama is easily the most talented SEC team. And we still don't know how good they are right now. I completely agree with that. Yeah, how good is this team? Like, what happens if they lay the law down this Saturday? I think Clark Lee compared them to 2020, which I think is too early. You can't compare a lot of teams to 2020. That team was nasty. Nasty work by 2020. Remember, we've went over all the players from 2020. That was crazy. It's wild to think that was, 5 seasons ago. You think Kane will be considered for the Arkansas job? No, not right now. He's they need to finish out. He needs to, tighten up things here. He will be a head football coach, clearly. We don't know where, but I don't think Arkansas would be a spot. I don't think Ryan Grubb takes a spot like Arkansas. I think when it's all said and done, you kind of look to what, where I think I could see Ryan Grubb at? this might be news before news, but I could certainly see him going out to the West Coast and like taking over USC. Like if Lincoln Riley, who, I mean, how is USC not good? Like, how are they not there? How are they not like a top 10? I think Ryan Grubb going out to USC would be terrifying. Terrifying. What's up, Chris G? I 100% agree, bro. I think this will be the different. You talk keys of the game. I think this will be it right here. What's up, J. Cole? Good to see you, bro. He's Mississippi State maybe beat Georgia. Mississippi State's good, bro. I mean, the two teams combined from the state of Mississippi are what, 9-1? Ole Miss, Mississippi State. You know what's crazy? The reason no one's talking about Ole Miss or Mississippi State is because they don't play Alabama. Right? Ooh, Ryan Grubb at LSU would be also terrifying. Let's not put that out there. Retracted. Ooh, Florida retracted. I mean, I just think that if you go to LSU, if you go to Florida, and I'm talking like head coaches, you're going to have to battle with the SEC recruiting, all the other elements that exist here. But if you go to USC, you're basically on an island, right? You're out there, you can dominate the state of California with all the recruiting. You can dominate, you know, Utah, Nevada, and the talent that they have in that particular area, right? They're in the Big Ten now. I think if I was Ryan Grubb, that would be, you know, something I keep my eye on. Rocket Town says, Kyle, do you think Kirby Moore would be more of a replacement for Grubb if he leaves? Kirby's contract ends this year. Man, I have no, you know, that's kind of like the worst case scenario, is thinking about these coaching changes, and particularly this. Like, I had no idea. I haven't even thought, you know, if Ryan Grubbs does leave, and who knows if he does, I have no idea. I just think he will. That's just my opinion. It's not fact. But the thing I'm thinking about is with this coaching staff, because they're so close together, if Grubb leaves, you think he's just going by himself? Not to scare anybody, but the fact is he's probably taking Nick Sheridan, and maybe, you know, Shepard stays. He's maybe taking Kapilovic, and this guy stays. So this coaching staff, they've been together for a lot, and I think if you peel them apart, you know, there's coaches that are going to leave. But we've gone through this before. Every single year we've been, you know, since I've been here, there's always coaching changes. There's always coaches that leave, and they've always, you know, stood the test of time. Film guy showed us Alabama has too many weapons. Oh, yeah. Can you imagine? What's up, CC? I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. I don't know what's up with Florida. You know, I low-key, this could be another crazy thing that I have this week. But what if somehow, what if Florida beats Texas? You imagine? Is that a possibility? Am I tripping? Carnival Cruise Guy says, I'm hearing James Franklin could be on the hot seat. Is that for real, that stat? 4-27 against top 10 teams? Oh my God, that's crazy. Is that true? Let me fact check that. That's nuts. Hey, Debbie, what's up? She says, morning, Kyle. I slept in here on the left coast. You know, the whole thing about, so the channel, as it's grown, right? You know, it's very visible by millions of people, you know. So there's like trademark laws, right, that prohibit certain things, and you have to respect those. Trademark law is also selective. I've learned more about trademark laws, so those are, you know, the wishes. I can't really go into it much more, but I've had to kind of change things around, which is fine. You know, I have to play by the rules, and that's how it is. So, you know, it's selective though, which I think is interesting. but I love my hats. So I have, me, I have a million different hats, but no more Bama hats, unfortunately. And I think, yeah, it's a very visible channel, but I think at some point, it's like you still kind of feel like boxed out, right? Like, and that's fine. Like, I don't, I'm not asking for any other opportunities. This is where I'm at. This is the lane that I stay in. And that's just that, So I'm grateful to be on here and to have the small opportunities that I have. And that's it. I kind of like just, staying in this lane and just focusing on what I got. Because truth be told, I'm a single parent. I have my kids full time. So just being with them, is the most important thing for me. And then, also, having the work that I have is, the thing that, I certainly really enjoy. Yeah, I appreciate it, King's family. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah. Hunter, what's up, man? Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, good to see you, Hunter. I don't think I've seen you much in the comment box, but thank you so much for being here. Viper says, your channel is by far the most respected of trademark when it comes to university. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. I try to do this. My goal is to do this like kind of at a professional level, so when you see, the audio, the voice, the visuals and stuff like that, I spend hours and hours and hours and hours, on all the display and, every single thing. It takes a great amount, time and dedication to, keep it at that level. I appreciate it, Young Wolf. And you guys know, it's consistency and performance, and the job's not done. I'm human. So I see, there's things that I need to work on individually. There's things that I, need to continue about. I don't watch any other shows. I have great respect for everybody in this space because I know how hard it is. T, she got her master's degree. She got 2 master's degrees. So we wish her well in her, future endeavors. Really great business mindset. Just amazing. Really amazing person. Every once in a while I bounce on nighttime. It's kind of like, where I'm at. If I'm feeling kind of, on the nighttime, then I'll hit a nighttime chat. Hey, you got a 82 yesterday. That's what's up, man. Short game, dog. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, 115,000. That's amazing for sure. Thank you, Ronnie. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, tunnel vision, 100%. It's never done, right? All right, fam. Well, I hope you guys had a good show today. I did. I had a really good time. Sometimes, like I said, it's you get on here, and sometimes before the show, I'm like, man, I wish this and that, and sometimes I even get into the poor me's, and I'm like, no, we're gonna do this show. We're gonna go for this hour and this hour, and then we're gonna build on that. That's it. We can't zoom out and think about all the uncontrollables. You can't do this. You can't do that. You have to stay here, be present, and focus on what you can do. That's it. So that's the plan. Every time I step on the platform is just to stay right here. That's it. So I appreciate you guys kicking it with me every day, 10 a.m. Central Time, sometimes in the evening, sometimes just pop up as news happens. I always got you covered. I have no idea. I changed up my camera. So I think that might have had to do something with the audio. I don't know. You run into different things, and it didn't stop us. So as usual, fam, be where your feet are at. Stay blessed. Enjoy this beautiful life. Be good people. And as news happens, I got you covered right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama on Thursday, October 2nd. Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. See you, fam. Hey, Debbie with the buzzer beater. Debbie, what's up? I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You're into the raffle too, Debbie. Thank you, Mindy Minskellis. I appreciate you. Debbie with the buzzer beater, right? Nice, Debbie. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right. Love you, fam. And I'll catch up with you soon, or as news happens, right here on Bam YouTube. Brrrr. Debbie Hansen now at the line. London, what's up, dog? How you doing, man? Good to see you, bro. Yeah, we got to review that. Was it before the shot? Debbie at the line. Debbie Hansen. Where are you coming in from, Debbie? Now at the line. Debbie Hansen. We are now moved into overtime. Debbie Hansen. Debbie, where are you coming? Where are you watching from? Debbie, you said you're on the left coast. You in Cali? Oh, the commercial. Yeah, we were doing that commercial for a while. Then we got linked up with Sleeper. Man, I feel like all the time, like the channel is always in like a metamorphosis, right? It's always like a living, breathing entity. It was funny. I mean, you know me. I probably come up with something else, you know, every once in a while. I'll show you. I was thinking about showing you guys my studio setup is, man, I got chords I do ignore. Let's see. Oh, Sacramento, where you at? All right, cool. Yeah, so you know me. I cut the music. Now we just go one-on-one. So Sacramento, you know, I got a story about every single city. I know it's crazy, but it's true. I've lived an amazing life. I've seen a lot of cool things. So my mom used to work out in Sacramento. And so when I was living in New Mexico and I was married at the time, we went out to go see her in Sacramento. And we visited the train station. And the true story. So we went to Sacramento. We went to the train museum. That's what it was, the train museum. And then we drove in from Sacktown. We drove into San Francisco. And we cruised into San Francisco. And I'll never forget it. It was crazy. So I've been out San Francisco, you know, many times. So we drive to San Francisco, and we went out to, it wasn't Stinson Beach. It was another beach that was physically in San Francisco. I forget the name of it. And it was Earth Day in California, right, in San Francisco. Literally, we are trapped in traffic for, I don't know, 5 hours or whatever. We get back to the hotel room. I kid you not, my son had somehow locked both of the doors on the hotel, and we were trapped out of our hotel room. So, man, it was, and then I got the flu. This was before COVID and stuff like that. But Sacktown, I remember the train museum for forever. So, Show 44 says, come on, ride the dragon with us. I'll find you a bike. I'm in Maryville, about 30 minutes away. That's what's up, man. Oh, you also lived in Albuquerque. That's amazing. Yeah, well, yeah, I lived in Albuquerque too. Got any Memphis stories? You know what? Not yet, but I definitely want to check out Memphis at some point in time. I know it's not far from here, here in Tuscaloosa. What is it, like 4 hours, right? But I've never been to Memphis. That's one of the cities I've never been to. Hey, Cody, what's up, man? Good to see you, man. Thanks for calling. You called in yesterday, right? Appreciate it. See, Debbie, you know what I'm talking about. The train museum. Yeah, I remember it. It was amazing. It was really beautiful. Tell the dragon. Great ride. That's dope, man. If you don't wreck. All right, fam. Anything else? Any last minute questions, observations? All right, need to get some lunch in me. My mom made soup. My mom was in town for the last couple of days, and then she made a stew. So I have a nice stew down there that I'm going to go have for lunch. Jarvis says, do I have a sleeper for NFL? Oh, 100%. Yeah, I use Sleeper all the time. So I always make like a couple picks on Sleeper, and I usually keep it to like 3-player parlays. So I'll go like, you know, the 49ers, you know, and the Rams are playing tonight, so I'll probably look at like an anytime touchdown. The only thing I don't know about that particular game is like who the hell, like I guess Mac Jones is starting, right? Is Mac Jones starting? I guess Mac Jones is probably starting tonight. So who's he going to throw it to? Because Juwan Winfrey, he's gone. Ricky Pearsall, he's gone. Brandon Ayuk's gone. Kittle, he's gone. Like, who the hell are you going to throw it to? So I guess you just load up on Christian McCaffrey, right? So All right, fam. I appreciate it. Well, you guys have a good rest of your day. You know me. I'll be with all these cords and working on my backdrop and the lighting and stuff like that. I feel it's like, look, I get it. I got tan skin, okay? But this is like, it makes me look a little bit too olive. I was kind of like running a little bit green on the show. Have a beautiful day, fam. I appreciate you kicking it with me. As always, prayers to your mom, Cody. News as it happens, and I enjoy being here more than you know right here on Bama Football on YouTube. See you, fam. Good. Have a good rest.